For sure. When I didn't get approached to sign an extension last summer, that caught me by surprise, and it was something that I expressed at training camp, and certainly that was probably the start of it, the start of the writing on the wall. I didn't quite understand why, but I didn't ask too many questions, just went about and played hard and didn't let that affect me. And after the season, I knew both sides were going to want to try to get something done and do something that was mutually beneficial for both sides. It just felt like, I was the one that was making a lot of the concessions, and that certainly came into play. But again, when you get into these things, like I said, you have hope until the last minute, and then when you don't hear anything or nothing changes, then you have to be able to adapt and just make a decision. That's the toughest part, is trying to hang on to something that maybe it isn't trying to hang on to you. And that was the tough part for sure. But like I said, the memories I've had in Tampa will trump whatever, ill will or feelings I've had throughout this process, because those are temporary. Those are emotional decisions. And, as time passes, those usually go away. It's remembering the amazing times, growing up in that city as an 18-year-old kid to where I am now, having a family, obviously winning, the fans, the city, everything has been first class. And those are the things that that you remember. You're sad it didn't work out maybe the way you wanted to, but a new chapter is opening up in my family's life, and that's something we're excited about.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web here on a Monday night. I'm your host, Peter Blake. How do we start off this show as we got lots to get to tonight? Kind of a sad day in Tampa Bay sports, a changing of the era, if you will. The Steven Stamkos era is officially over with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Three things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Open phone lines tonight because I know that there's a lot of Tampa Bay Lightning fans that feel a certain way, and that's okay. That's what happens with the player that's on your team for 16 years. That's what happens when a player leaves your team and he is the heart and soul of the Tampa Bay Lightning organization, which he signed with Nashville today, 4 years. $32 million contract. Hard to believe that's happened. But, you know, not every situation is like Mike Evans. That's why I tell you, Bucs fans out there, to appreciate what you got while you have it, because it doesn't last for long. It doesn't. As much as we want to be, you know, fan boys, and I love the fans, because I always say, you know, they're the lifeblood of what the sports web truly is. If not the fan, if we don't have that fan watching on a Monday, a Wednesday night, or during Bucs games, or during Lightning games, or during Rays games, and having that passion, because I truly believe what we say here on the Evolution: bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense. But I also know that as a fan, from a fan's perspective, it doesn't feel good. So there may be some nonsense spewed tonight. I can definitely understand that. But at the end of the day, sports is also a business. And you have to trust in this organization. You have to trust in Julien Brisebois, JBB, and what he's doing. How he's trying to remake this team, which, you know, the last 2 years, they've been eliminated. It hasn't been pretty. You know, you look at the numbers with Stamkos, 40 goals, but he's a minus 21. They feel like they got better today. So, again, I definitely want to hear from you fans, because I feel a certain way about it. I remember him. I'm going to always remember him. He's always going to be the captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning, no matter if he's in Smashville or not. But it is also a business. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We're going to have JP Peterson of the JP Peterson Show, who works for what? Lightning Vision. We're going to get his take. We're going to have Harry the Greek on. And we're going to take your phone calls. And not only are we going to talk about Steven Stamkos and what the Lightning have done the last couple of days, but also about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Also about your Tampa Bay Rays. So open phone line again, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's get my co-host on here. Here we go. Professional handicapper extraordinaire of the sports web, Mr. Harry the Greek. Welcome to the Evolution. Again, a sad night, if you will, a sad day in Tampa Bay sports as Steven Stamkos officially signs Nashville Predators. Your thoughts? What?
No, he followed the money, and I just think the guy was on the other end of his career personally. I'd love to hear JP's opinion on this, to be honest with you, because he is the Lightning expert. I'm just a handicapper, and I could just see what, you know, I tell you what the eye test says. I see a guy that's still a great player, but
Mm-hmm.
worth that kind of money, in my opinion, my professional opinion is the word no.
Mm.
But JP would be the guy you really want to ask on this one.
Well, and I'm definitely going to come out to him right now. Let's go out to Mr.
But it
J-
didn't really surprise you, did it, Peter? Honestly?
It did surprise me because I thought they would get it done. And I thought the moves that JBB made as a general manager in an organization that they would eventually find some money and they would get him signed. And all you heard throughout the process was that they were only about $1 million apart. And the rumor was the Lightning offered 3. He wanted 4 or 5. And obviously he got more than 4 or 5. He got $8 million. But with that being said, let's go out to Mr. JP Peterson of Lightning Vision. Absolutely. My partner in crime on Wednesdays from 10 to 12 every day. Definitely tune in because he's the only guy on the block here. Welcome to the Evolution.
We're the only one doing 2 hours of sports talk every day, Monday through Friday, right? You, me, Nick Geddes, Tim Ham, our whole crew.
Yeah.
Harry joins us every once in a while. We'll get back to football. We'll be doing that.
Yeah.
Get his great takes. So thank you guys for having me on. Here I am trying to watch a soccer game, and you're like, it's a big game here. It's
Which
US
game
team,
is it?
man.
Which game?
Right.
Every 2 years or so, this United States men's national team sucks me in, like, oh, we're gonna do something, and we're good this time, and we got Pulisic, and we got they suck you in. You get all dressed up in your red, white, and blue, and you put your hat on, and you're like, let's go, and then they come out and they suck.
They
lose
suck. They absolutely
Panama.
suck. Yes.
They lose to Panama, and you're like, why? Why
To
do you
who?
do this to yourself?
Who did they lose?
I
Panama?
was out. And then they rope you back in.
Panama. What is it from Van Halen in the 80s? Panama.
Yeah. Song way better than the soccer team. And we still lost.
That's great.
All right,
stuff.
JP.
So here I am,
got
like
it. I got to
watching
hear
again,
this.
and then I'm like, Peter calls me. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll come on. Now it's take me away from this bull crap. We're gonna lose to Uruguay.
JP, I am literally at the edge of my seat. You have got your ear to the ground more so than anybody that I'll ever know with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Did it really surprise you
It
that
did.
they didn't re-sign it? And do you
I'll
think
be
they should have?
Harry, I've been saying this, and I did a video the other day, and I was flat wrong. I said, oh, they opened up 16.5 million in cap space. Here we go. We're gonna get Stammer back. We're gonna get Gensel. We made a nice trade. Everything's lining up. JBB's just gonna crush it, and everybody's gonna be extremely happy. But little did I know, and those are very nice things you said about me, but clearly
It's true, though.
I did not see this coming. I did not see an organization that basically, according to Steven Stamkos, really didn't want him back. Not that bad.
Was it? But did he really leave because it was $1 million difference? I mean,
No, he left. He left because the Tampa Bay Lightning were not that interested in him, and the Nashville Predators were extremely interested in. Now, Harry, I don't know if this has ever happened to you because you're a devilishly handsome man, as is Peter Blake.
Thank you.
But if you got 2 chicks, and even if one is maybe not quite as hot as the other, and you've been with but this one is like, I've been with you for a while. You're old. You're tired. I'm not really that interested in you. You can stick around if you want to. Here's a couple crumbs. And the other one's like, oh, you're Steven Stamkos. You won 2 Stanley Cups. You went to another final. You just scored 41 goals, 5 goals in a book. Yeah, here's a ridiculous amount of money. Which one are you picking, boys?
Well, I'll tell you what
Which one are
happened
you
here,
picking?
and I can't believe I'm going to do this.
Yes.
I can't believe I'm going to do this. You see, Peter's never experienced that, by the way, so I'll answer that for you. The Nashville Predators did a Huck Tua right on it. Okay, come on. Is that not fitting or what? They give him the Huck Tua.
I would say that the Lightning spit on that thing. they
spit on that thing.
You want to take it a little bit further?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, is it if you're getting the dude? Then are you? I don't know.
Oh, wait a
But
minute. So
anyway,
Nashville started to sound like Pac-Man. Go, go,
yeah,
go.
listen, I was
Waka,
I
waka,
was
waka.
kind of I heard when I listened to the Stamkos interview this morning on TSN, I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very honest about it. He's just like, I really wanted to stay, and I was looking forward to being a Bolt for life, but I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, but they just really weren't that interested. And
I can't believe that.
yeah, and we all thought I really thought that the reason they didn't offer him extension last year was because they wanted to see how much the salary cap was going on. I thought it was very analogous to the Mike Evans deal. I mean, I don't mind saying I was dead wrong on this. I did not think that the organization was indifferent about Steven Stamkos, but according to Steven Stamkos, they were. And if you listen to Julien Brisebois in his comments, they were just not.
What do they do
interested.
now, JP? What do they do now? I mean,
well, they
redeem
become a
yourself
better.
here.
I mean, and with all due respect to Steven Stamkos,
Mm-hmm.
we said this. We talked about this on the air. Steven Stamkos was a -21 last year.
Yep,
he was
That's
a plus.
not good.
2 years ago, he was a +24.
Wow.
Then last year, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, he was a -5. This year, he was a -21.
So there's a trend there.
Yeah, there's a trend. And there's his 5-on-5 play had slipped. And this is not being disrespectful for Steven Stamkos. And by the way, I think the Lightning should have signed him. I think they should have found a way to make that happen. That's just my personal opinion. I work for the Lightning. I don't know what they know. I don't know what I have no idea what Julien Brisebois' long-term plans are, how it all fits into the salary cap. I don't know that. And by the way, Julien Brisebois needs the benefit of the doubt here. Julien Brisebois brought us 2 cups and went to another final. That's unheard of. So and he made the necessary decisions to make this a more defensive and tougher team that Steven Yzerman was not willing to do or able to do. So let's give Julien Brisebois some credit here. The dude knows what he's doing. Yes. And he was criticized roundly for giving up too much to get Barclay Goodrow and the rest of those guys. And guess what? It worked. And so he deserves the benefit of the doubt. I know the fans are apoplectic. I've read all the comments. The Lightning puts up on Instagram today. There were 697 comments and 696 were nasty. I didn't.
Wow.
It was bad. It was really, really bad. But
you know what I could say to the people who do stuff like that, JP? And again, don't quote me. I don't know the exact years, but there was something that I read. There is no team in the National Hockey League. You have to have faith in your management staff.
That's right.
There is no team in the National Hockey League, and I think it was 10, it even could be 15 years, that has more playoff appearances and wins than the Tampa Bay Lightning.
And it's not close. I know second place is not even close.
It's such a long margin.
I think it's like 70 some wins, and the next closest
72.
Is 72, and the next closest is like 50 something.
Yeah,
maybe?
it's something ridiculous. That's like 3. That's like 5. That's 6 playoff appearances. Okay, in series. Yeah, and that's a minimum. That's if you run the tables.
Right.
Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is here: if they weren't really that interested in him, they had to have seen something. I don't think this was a play to cut salary. I think this was a play for this team to get a little younger and to get better.
Yeah. And they did. And they did, against with all deference to Steven Stamkos. But here's the if about that. I think if you were able to get Gensel, which was by the way, the Lightning signed the best free agent available. Nobody cares, right? But they did. And they did it by getting rid of a salary in Sergachev that frankly needed to be gotten rid of, in my opinion. I think that was a stroke of genius. And what they got back, J.J. Moser, a top 4 defenseman, young kid, 24 years old. He's not Sergachev, but he ain't far behind, especially the Sergachev we saw last year.
I think they got faster.
That was a -16 in 34 games, and the team was 15, 13, and 5 with Sergachev, 30, 16, and 3 without him. Significantly better without Sergachev last year. So getting that off the books and getting J.J. Moser and getting Connor Geekie is now your number 1 prospect. This kid is 20 years old, 96 points in 55 games in the Western Hockey League.
Yep.
he could be a really, really good player down the line, especially if he gets into the Lightning development camp, and they've been able to develop young players in a significant way, help their skating, make them become better players. They are to skaters what the Rays are to pitching. So listen, I think Julien Brisebois is putting together a team on the ice that will be better 5-on-5, no question about it. And they're still they signed somebody else tonight as well, a veteran from Buffalo.
Correct.
A third liner, probably third, fourth. What's his name? Zemgus Girgensons.
I want to get out to Julien Brisebois and what he had to say about Stamkos. I tried to get the press conference, but unfortunately I was not able to get that. But these are the comments. When asked about Stamkos' walk in free agency, I know the fans are disappointed. I know Steven's disappointed, and I'm disappointed. He also says that he felt that if he met Stamkos' financial expectations on a new contract at the Tampa Bay Lightning, would not be putting ourselves in the best position to chase championships moving forward. He also, and we'll get back to that in a moment, because
if Steven Stamkos wanted $8 million for 4 years,
right,
then that's a no. That's a no for me. And I don't think he did, by the way. I think, if the Lightning would have got to 5 or 6 million, and how maybe they could have spread it out a longer deal, then yeah. But $3 million a year, 8 years, $3 million was not that's an insult.
Yeah.
I personally think that Stamkos is going to have a decent year to start off. I think he's going to play better than what he did with Tampa Bay, but I think it'll fizzle out after the second half of the year because his body's not going to be able to take it. Like I said, he's look, man, father time's catching up with you, bro.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. You were a great player for a lot of years.
16 seasons in the NHL. And by the way, that's 16 seasons, having gone to what? 6 finals, 5 finals, at least 5 finals, maybe more. But deep runs. I mean, he played 17 seasons or 16 seasons, probably played 18 seasons worth of games. I mean, with all the playoff games that he's played, it's well over 100. So that's a lot of hockey, and that's a lot of playoff hockey, which takes it's like double a regular season game. So there's a lot of wear and tear on Steven Stamkos. 8 million, 4 years. That's an excessive contract for what, but Nashville has this cap room, and they felt that they needed someone of his championship caliber and his medal. They're not paying just for his hockey ability. They're paying for the captain. That's what they're paying for.
Yep.
And I get that. I totally get that. I know what it takes to win a Stanley Cup I don't know personally, but I've covered enough of these teams close enough to know the sacrifices that are made. And I am convinced that the leadership of Steven Stamkos has been, if all the factors you could list, it's definitely in the top 3, just the leadership.
How young is Nashville this year?
Young are they?
Are they?
They've got a great. They've got a lot of good veterans who are ready to win. I mean, with Saros and Forsling, and they added Brady. They added Brady Shea today. They added Marchessault.
I don't understand this sign.
They are ready. Stamkos is a piece for them that really adds to a very talented roster now.
Depth.
That captaincy, that he stands up in the room and saying, "Let's go. We got to go do X, Y, Z. We train like this. We prepare like this. This is the Lightning mindset." That's gold. I mean, that is absolute gold to a team like Nashville. So for them, that experience brings that. The Lightning already have that culture in place, right? So I think, and I would say maybe they're miscalculating a little bit his leadership loss, because Hedman is not that kind of guy. Kucherov is certainly not that kind of guy, the Stamkos type of leader, which is rare. That's rarefied air. To say you're not a Stamkos type leader is not necessarily an insult at all.
Well, who takes
it's like saying you're not as good as Michael Jordan at basketball.
Who takes that position now?
I think Ryan McDonough. Oddly enough, Ryan McDonough does. I think he becomes the real big voice in that.
Are you good with that, JP?
Yeah, I mean he's a hell of a leader. He's a solid leader, but you're going to miss Stamkos. My only reservation is, I think if there was more motivation, I'm just shocked that I didn't see this. I just didn't see the Lightning organization not wanting Steven Stamkos enough.
I think they got better.
Yeah, I think they got better too. And I think, for the Lightning, this was a very unemotional, very clinical decision. Like, we're stagnant. We've gone out, 2 years in a row in the first round. We need to make some major changes. We need to get faster. We need to get younger. We need to get better defensively, not just in the back end, but from the forwards as well. Thus the plus minus, and that's not everything. That's not everything, but it's that's a drastic differential right there. A plus 24 for Gensel, a minus 21 for Stamkos. 19 of his 41 goals were on the power play.
Right.
So let's keep all this in. 5-on-5, the Lightning were a less than average team last year. That's not going to get it done. They have to be significantly better 5-on-5 if they want to win another Stanley Cup. And I think the Lightning thought that Steven Stamkos was a liability. It's certainly at $8.5 million what he was making and what he's going to make with the Nashville Predators. That's way bigger a deal than I thought it was going to be. And for Steven Stamkos, he said it. I watched his press conference today, and he said it. He's like, this Nashville has courted me, and they came after me. They wanted me. They loved me. They did everything. And frankly, the Lightning, from his perspective, were indifferent.
Well,
They're
you know what? They
indifferent,
really
which shocks me.
Hey, they like you said, they courted him. They liked him. They see value in him, and they obviously are trying to make a serious run this year.
It's a Tom Brady situation, guys, right? I mean, Tom Brady, what he did with the Patriots for all those years, and then all of a sudden the Bucs, they roll out the red carpet, and they say, well, we want you, Brady. Patriots don't want you. So
right.
It's the same type of situation, and I get it. It's a business, and it hurts because there's so many great memories in those 16 years with Stamkos. But then you have general manager here who's won 2 Stanley Cups. It's not like he hasn't won 2 Stanley Cups, right?
It sounds like this sounds like this general manager knows how to put a plug on something too, instead of hanging on to people, i.e. a Jerry Reinsdorf of the Chicago White Sox. You want to talk about a loyal owner to a fault. I mean, he'll keep somebody that's still hitting below the Mendoza line because he's been loyal to the organization. And that's what's crushed that. This guy's not like this. And this is that's a smart individual. I got to tell you, I think this team got better. And I really think I think the fans need to pump the brakes on this team.
Harry, I'll say on paper, they got better, but we don't play on paper.
No, you don't.
and I've seen, you can look to different, I think basketball is obviously a different game, but we put a bunch of stars together. Oh, we're going to win a championship. No, you got to have role players. Everybody's got to play together. They got to have good chemistry. There's got to be leadership in the room. A lot of things have to come together. Just because you put together, a group of guys where the analytics look like they're going to work doesn't mean, when you're traveling with everybody and living in each other's backyards for an entire season, that they're all going to get together and like each other, and it's going to work. It's a hard combination to find. And that's why winning the Stanley Cup is the most difficult trophy in sports.
It's brutal, man.
So listen, I completely empathize with the fans. It hurts me. It hurts them. They don't understand why this organization wasn't more loyal to Steven Stamkos when he was ultra loyal to them. I get that, but it is a business, and these decisions have to be made. And parting with icons never goes well. Derek Brooks, Michael Jordan. I mean, run down the list of all of the greatest who ever played. When they part ways, Tom Brady. I mean, this is exactly the way the fans were in New England.
Yep.
Right. And then they had to go watch Tom Brady win a Super Bowl with the Bucs. Do I want to see Steven Stamkos win a Stanley Cup with the Nashville Predators? Yeah, maybe. If we can't win it,
right.
If I'm being true to myself, we talked about this morning on the show with Nick Geddes. I was like, you know what? We kind of lucked out because of all the sweaters he could be wearing. I kind of like Nashville. I love the city. I love the people. I love the organization.
You're a fan. That's why, JP.
And there are people within, and I'll tell you this is a big deal. There are 2 people in specifically Bill Wickett, the longtime PR VP of Communications for the Lightning, who knows Steven Stamkos very well, was there when he was born with the Lightning, and really good friends. And Sean Henry, their COO, I believe, or CEO in Nashville, also long time with the Lightning, long time friend of Steven Stamkos. So this is like moving from family to cousins. This is a very easy landing spot for Steven Stamkos, and all those two gentlemen, I'm sure, were very instrumental in making this happen and making him and his family feel uber comfortable about this move. So there were a lot of moving pieces in this, and for Nashville, it's a hell of a gamble. It's a lot of money to gamble on a 34-year-old player who's, by all analytics, and I mean this completely respectfully, is trending down, even with the 41 goals. That was a little bit of but look, there's value in that. So I don't want to diminish it, but there's value in it. So for Nashville, I think it's a great deal for them. It just, that dollar figure just didn't work with the Lightning where they're at in their cap. So I wish him the best, and I wish Nashville the best. And if it's going to be anybody beside the Lightning winning the cup, I want it to be Nashville. And boy, wouldn't it be interesting?
Yes,
you're a fan.
Well, it
you're
would
a fan of the sport.
It would absolutely be interesting, but it would also be heartbreaking at the same time, because we've seen it here locally with Joe Madden winning a championship with the Chicago Cubs. Sorry, Harry.
I was rooting for the Cubs. I was rooting for Joe. I was.
But you see Ben Zobrist, you see David Price, you see Wade Davis, you see those talented players. Buccaneer fans saw Doug Williams. You see Steve Young, Trent Dilfer win a championship.
That doesn't bother me. Like,
that didn't bother me.
No. I root for people.
I was happy for Williams
as a sports, but as a sportscaster, we're supposed to be objective. I can't be objective about the Lightning, and I can't be objective about Steven Stamkos. Right. I love them both so much. That's why, for me, this is incredibly bittersweet. I think the Lightning are doing what they need to do to get better and reset. I completely understand what they're doing, and I think on paper they're a better team, but I also, it breaks my heart that Steven Stamkos is leaving. I wish they could have found a way to keep Gensel and Stamkos and keep Stamkos in the room, because I think it would have been a better, I'm kind of contradicting myself here. If they could have kept them both, I think they would have been a better team. That's just my personal opinion.
There's a comment here I want Peter
But JBB knows a hell of a lot more than me.
This is an actual cool comment. Go ahead, Peter. Read that.
Yeah, Zach Metzer. A lot of Tampa Bay fans do not know Gensel and what he can bring to the table. We got better on the back end with Mac and JJ Moser and Connor Geekie. By the way, Geekie, 11th overall pick just a couple years ago, is going to be solid players. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Gergensen brings some physicality we lost from Gino. Interesting to see who else we bring on board, but lots to be excited and positive about for Bolts fans. Yeah, I mean, he's 100% right. This hurts, and it will hurt for a little bit. Breakups are hard, but eventually you get over them and you move on to the next, right? And sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's better. You're not, and fans, just remember this. Remember this, Lightning fans, as you rip JBB and the organization. You can't change the 16 years that Steven Stamkos put in. Nobody's erasing that. Nobody's toppling his statue. It's going to last forever. He and his teammates with those two cups are immortal. That will never be taken away. And he will come back, and we will celebrate him, and we will hug him, and he will always be part of the Tampa Bay franchise. And hopefully he makes his long-term home here. I don't know. Nashville's pretty enticing. Pretty damn good place to live, by the way.
Sure.
So we may lose him, and that's going to be a net loss to our community, big time. Like, the Glazers I think they would say this without question. I mean, I should ask Brian sometime. They screwed up with John Lynch. They screwed that up. Their doctors said he wasn't fit, and they were wrong. He made 4 more Pro Bowls with the Denver Broncos. Their doctors screwed that up. So just like the San Diego doctors screwed it up with Drew Brees, although Phillip Rivers wasn't too bad. But yeah, and I'm so look, you can't take that time away though. And Steven Stamkos, I hope he comes back here and is part of this community for a long time, but he may stay in Nashville, and that'll be a net loss. But those years those rafters will always have those banners. His jersey will always be up there. None of that stuff's ever going to go away. If he goes and wins one with Nashville, good for them. Good for them. But we'll always have Steven Stamkos. That's not going away, fans. So maybe this season turns out to be a pleasant surprise, and this is a better team.
Yeah, and I think that's what it boils down to. You get eliminated by the eventual Stanley Cup champion. You have to have more depth. And the general manager believes that they've added more depth and they're going to be a better team without Stamkos.
You got it, and you'll be better 5-on-5.
Yep, that's it. That's what it's all about. It's not just about, the power play, although, it's a very good power play. And
It'll still be good. It'll still be good with Kucherov and Hedman and Braden Point and maybe Gensel. I mean, it'll still be fine. They'll be fine.
Give me a memory.
May not be 30%, but they'll be fine. They'll be in the top 7. That's my prediction.
JP, last question here. Actually, 2 more questions. Give me a favorite memory of Stamkos, and were you surprised that they dealt away Sergachev, 26-year-old defenseman, but turnover prone here? Were you surprised by that move?
No, I wasn't surprised by that move, and I'm glad the move got made. I always was a little, now that he's gone, it's easier for me to say that, but I love Sergey, man, personally, great dude. But I didn't think he was worth that contract. I just didn't think he was worth it. And there were 7 years left at $8.5 million. And at 26 years old, he should have been better and more consistent by now. And the beginning of last year was dreadful. I mean, dreadful. Minus 16. And they were much better without him than they were with him. Something's going on with Sergey. So I hope he gets it together and has a great career. I don't begrudge him. But when they got rid of that contract, I was like, whoa. And they got J.J. Moser, and they got Geeky. I was like, holy shit, that's an unbelievable, great job, JBB. Now go sign Steven Stamkos. Well, that wasn't in his plan. It wasn't in his plan. And that's clear now. So, look, we can all, weep about it and get mad at him about it, but he deserves the benefit of the doubt. He's built two cup champions, and just
more playoff wins than anybody.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody can sit here and say that this team, as it was constituted the last 2 years, was ready to win a Stanley Cup again. There needed to be some changes and some major changes. Again, had they found a way to keep Stamkos, and I think if they were a little bit more aggressive, they might have been able to, but he may have that money earmarked for other players and just wants to get younger and thinks this is the shakeup that this team needs. So this is what sports is all about, baby. Let's see it. Let's
go. Let's go. Let's do it. Favorite memory from Steven Stamkos? Is it when he comes out there on the shift against the Stars in the Stanley Cup final?
Yeah, that's
could it have been an interview, maybe?
My favorite personal moment.
Yeah,
with Stamkos,
that's what I'd like to know.
Was we were doing a interview when I was with the other station over there, and I got, probably about a half hour, 45 minutes with Stammer, and my kids were there. And so it was one of the fan fest things. So my kids were there, and I was sitting there doing the interview with Steven Stamkos, and my kids are looking at me like, Daddy's interviewing. I think they were in their teens at the time. And that after we got done with the interview, he gave my kids autographs, gave them, some pictures, took pictures with them, spent time with them. Was just, way above and beyond. And I just was like, hey, as he's leaving, I'm saying, hey, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you doing. Because at the time, in my personal life, my kids, we were going through a divorce at the time. And, it was one of those moments like, Daddy's cool. Daddy's cool today, and so it was really a good moment for me, and it was my profile picture for a long time.
If your kids only knew how many different athletes you've actually interviewed, Daddy be the god. He was cool. Dad would be God.
I'm like getting a little weepy right now and just thinking about it. So that was a great moment, and of course on the ice, I mean, that was ridiculous. The dude gets injured. He's trying to get his way back. He skates for 2 minutes and scores a huge goal on the way to winning another Stanley Cup and doesn't play again. I'm like, you write that up in a Hollywood script and they're going to throw it out. Nobody's going to believe that. That's stupid.
Well,
it happened.
I know Peter wants to let you go, but this team's not a spring chicken. I mean, if
I got a freaking soccer game to watch, bro. I mean
Vasilevsky, he's getting up there in age too. Soccer, you know what? Stop with the commie crap, okay?
Yeah.
And let's just sit here and talk some sports, soccer. Yeah, I said
Bassey's 29 years old.
Is he
29,
29?
30 years old. Yeah, right.
I thought he was in his 30s.
I think he may have just turned 30. So he's still got
He's still in his.
He's got 7, 8 prime years left. He's in his
seems
prime.
Like he's been. It seems like
he's been playing since he's 19 years old.
Oh, yeah. It seems like he's been playing forever.
Looks like Stamkos. He's only 34, but he's been in the league for 16 years.
Yeah.
These guys start early. So, yeah, I mean, they still got the best goalie on the planet, in my opinion, and he's going to be now. Sergei's gone. Vassey's best buddy, Kuch's best buddy. Those Russians are thick as thieves, man. So, how does that affect the team? I don't know. I can't predict. Is Vassey pissed right now? Yes. Is Kuch pissed right now? Yes. They're all pissed. In my opinion, they're probably all pissed, but they'll get over it. It's their job. They're professional athletes.
Yeah, they're not going to miss the Greek too much.
No.
I think Kuch is also pissed because he didn't win, MVP of the league, which he
had to do that stupid bit at the NHL awards. They put him through that. That's probably even worse.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's probably not a lot of on the group chat tonight for the Lightning is probably not a good place to be. It's certainly I don't think no coaches or administrators allowed in the group chat tonight because it's nasty. But
yeah,
again,
we'll definitely read these comments. I know there's a lot of passionate people along with yourself. I want you to go.
By the way, any fans out there that are like pissed off, I'm not diminishing what you're feeling whatsoever. I'm completely confirming it. I get it and I understand it, and you have every right to be pissed. For all the I'm never going to go to another game and I'm getting in my season tickets. Let's chill a little bit on that. But if that's what you feel, I get it, man. I totally get it. Get it.
Yeah, I get it.
You meant a lot to a lot of people.
There's people ready to jump off the bridge because certain Tampa Bay Ray players aren't playing very well. I mean, we had a couple of comments. I'll leave it nameless.
Good God.
But I literally wanted to throw up on my mouth.
You need a little perspective in your life.
I'm giving up on the Tampa Bay Rays because of what was that about?
Well, you give up on the Tampa Bay Rays because every year that they don't have the salary. Well, the Rays because they don't spend
Where do they play?
Oh yeah, they play at Tropicana.
Oh, we're not going to go there.
Team. Okay.
Team on the other side of the bay.
Are they still over there?
They're 500 now. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
They're 500. Let's celebrate mediocrity.
I know. And JP, and I got to tell you, at the beginning part of the season, we were talking about where's this team going to be at the end of the year? Division winners, World Series, and they go to me, and I'm like, maybe 500 this year. Like, you're crazy. And I was like, just maybe
I said what I say, Peter, 85 wins.
Yeah, you
85?
And I said, unfortunately, 95. And I'm looking like I'm completely wrong at this point. But I believed in the Rays and trying to pull it out. I know the Rays are not going to make moves at the trading deadline. But the Lightning have gone all in.
They better make some moves. They better sell them on them a
sell. But, when it comes to the Lightning, they're committed to the Bay Area. They're a great organization. They're top notch. They've signed their own players. They've gone out and made those moves to win cups. So once again, let's just have faith that this organization knows exactly what they're
doing.
Yep. JP, go ahead.
Yeah. JP, go enjoy that communist sport you like to watch.
You shut up and be quiet, Harry.
This guy sucks.
Shocking development. 40 minutes in, there's no score.
Who's playing?
It's like watching a Rays game all over.
It is. It's like watching a Rays game. No score.
Peter have the wife come in. When did they bring it?
Scoring.
That's Peter. No more scoring.
Oh, you know what? Harry,
I'm out
now. All right. JP, thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution. Yes, right.
JP, we'll see you, man. You take care of yourself.
Thank you, guys. It was fun.
Thank you.
Liz, we'll see you on Wednesday. Or we won't see you on Wednesday. We'll take over your show on Wednesday. There you go.
Hey, hang on. He wasn't done. Hang on. You come right back there.
I just told him I'm jumping in on Wednesday.
Okay.
I'll be in there.
Oh, you're coming in?
Just for a little bit because I gotta we gotta go pick up the kids, but I'll have time to jump in because this is an important time. There's a lot of stuff going on. So
yeah.
Come on in. The water's warm.
Yeah. But you guys will have most of the show. I'll just
right.
bug you a little bit in the beginning. All right.
We
All right.
love it.
JP Peterson, thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution. So there you go. Let's go out to the phone lines here as they are ringing off the hook. Call back. I know Ray called in. By the way, happy birthday to Tampa Bay Ray. Let's go out to this guy.
Yeah, happy birthday, Ray.
Happy birthday, Ray. Yes, absolutely.
Happy birthday, Ray.
Right. Happy birthday, Ray. Okay, let me go out.
The Greek, he gets nothing.
That's not true. I wish you a happy birthday also. Happy birthday to you, my friend.
Ah, now that's better.
Here. Hold on.
Oh, God. Here, hang on. I got something for you. It's right here
What
in
do you
this
got?
pocket. Hold on.
Right there. You got that? How's that for you? You like that one? Oh, whoa. Kids show here. It's not past 10 o'clock.
Oh,
All right.
okay. I was winding it up.
I got to go out to the comments in a moment, but I want to get out to this guy because he wanted to call in. He definitely wants to talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's get out to Mr. Travis Feely of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Travis, welcome to the Evolution after Steven Stamkos. It's so hard to say this still has signed officially with the Nashville Predators.
He's been gone so long. He's been gone so long.
You know, I'm pretty happy. I'm happy for Stamkos. Grand scheme of things, guys. You know, it's stinks for the community, but it's good for him because he got the money he was looking for.
Yep. I mean, I think that's what it's about. And a lot of people say, well, they could have signed him before. Maybe so, or maybe the fact of what JBB said the other day, he's earned the right to be a free agent. Everybody wants him to sign, but you know,
JP didn't allude to this, Peter. JP Peterson flat out said, that Tampa Bay was not interested in his services any longer.
Right.
That was it.
Completely disagree with that. There's absolutely no way. No way.
He's got his ear to the ground there.
I don't care what anybody says. At the right price, Stamkos was going to stay. Did he want to play do you want to play 5 years, 6 years, 7 years and stretch that out at $4 to $5 million? No, you want to maximize value. Also, the guy's been hurt consistently throughout his career. Has he been a fantastic player? Yes, but he's also been hurt at times.
Yep. It's true. And
so,
he's
you get younger
scorer.
with Getzel.
Right.
You get younger with Getzel and, maybe even more talented from a 5-on-5 standpoint. So, I mean, does it stink to lose the greatest captain in Tampa sports history?
Yes.
100%. But we've seen it before, guys.
Yep, absolutely. Agree with that. And that's why I said on the monologue, be happy and be satisfied that Mike Evans, because Bucks fans have seen this before where you have a mass exodus, if you will, where Warrick Dunn gets cut and Derek Brooks gets cut and Warren Sapp is not a part of the team and John Lynch is not a part of this team. So, the organizations, they go through this sometimes. And even you, being a Chicago Bulls fan, went through it with Michael Jordan moving on and Scottie Pippen moving on eventually. So it's a transition in sports that, a lot of fans can't deal with. But the reason why an organization will do that is because they see something that we don't, and they don't want to hold on to that player and have them, not be a contributing factor going forward. They don't want them to be the last player at the dance, if you will. They don't want their skills to, just deteriorate like it has over time.
Guys, the Edmonton Oilers traded the greatest player to ever skate on the ice.
Yes, Wayne Gretzky.
So you have, Harry and I've lived through this with Roenick and Savard and Shelley and our
Kane
players in the Blackhawks. It was one of the main reasons why I changed over, other than living here, allegiances from the Blackhawks to the Lightning was because of Bill Wirtz. Harry knows it. He'd rather put, they're like to put that movie, The Producers, on the ice because he knew that the fans would still be, selling the place out.
Right.
And didn't care about putting a winning team on the ice. He just wanted his fans in the stands. And as a fan of the team, diehard Blackhawks fan at one time, you just couldn't keep supporting that organization. But the Lightning have done this before also with Vinny Lecavalier. They moved off Marty. Of course, Marty pushed his way out. That wasn't because with the Lightning. That was a Marty deal, 100%.
Exactly.
People like to sugarcoat that. Oh, we got rid of Marty. No, Marty forced his way out of the organization.
Yes, he didn't want to be here. He was upset about it, and he went somewhere else to try to win more, and it didn't necessarily work out for him. And a lot of people were up in arms. Oh my God, I can't believe that. I'm never coming back and being a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Stop it, because you're the same fan that watched those 2 Stanley Cups, and you're the same fan that watched that Stanley Cup appearance against the Chicago Blackhawks, where a play here and there, and you're maybe able to beat that team. So,
but were they not fans when the team was the worst team in hockey under the Wilson organization?
I hope so. I mean, and anybody saying, if they were or they weren't, I mean, would you like to go back to that? I mean, I love it all the time, because I go back to the Bucks. We go, well, the Glazers, they don't spend money. Really? You want to go to an era where you didn't spend money? Go back to the Hugh Culverhouse era. You want that? We'll go ahead and trade you for that, because I'll take the Glazers any day of the week. All right? I will.
The guy wearing the C next year, and it's going to surprise people, it'll probably be Victor. Well, that won't be a surprise. It'll probably be Victor, but you'll probably see Ryan McDonough throwing the A on.
Yeah.
Or at least the C. Ryan McDonough, which is one of the big surprising things that they didn't bring Stamkos back, was because he was such good buddies with McDonough. So that was a huge surprise in that regard.
Yeah.
So who do you think's going to wear the C next year?
What was that?
Who do you think's going to wear the C?
It's either going to be Victor or it's going to be McDonough.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Hedman. I think it could be Hedman.
I think it's Hedman.
And look, the money they have saved over, most likely, do you feel like with all the moves they made that most likely they're going to get this extension done with Hedman?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't mind him going out and get a Tarasenko on the cheap. You might be able to get him for $3 or $4 million, and that guy can still put the puck in the net, and he's won 2 cups.
Yeah.
And you would have kept Stamkos in there, and you're trading one for the other.
What do you mean, as far as Tarasenko?
Well, you're getting younger. You're getting younger with Tarasenko. You're going to get younger, and he could still,
I still think that Stamkos is a better player.
Oh, I do too, Harry. I'm not talking about switching out Tarasenko for Stammer. I'm talking about getting a guy that can put the puck in the net.
Sure.
And
plus, he would have cost more money, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's Travis's point. You may be able to get him on a bargain, and that's what it's about. And it's a real salary cap. It's a hard salary cap. It's not like the NFL where you can manipulate it. It's not like the NBA where you have all these exemptions and all this and guys taking less money. It's a real live salary cap. And look, what the Lightning have done the last 5 to 10 years is amazing to stay competitive, to sign their own players. In 2016, I mean,
with monster contracts.
Yes, and taking care of their own players.
Victor,
yes,
you got Victor and Vazzy, making tons of money.
Sure,
and you're going to still have to give Braden Point more money because he's going to be coming up for a new deal real soon. And to me, you got to keep that guy because he plays that bumper position on the power play, and he's great. He's a great all-around player that can score.
Sure. And you got Hagel in the background there, who's only getting better and better, who's also young. That's the reason why you trade a first-round pick in the first place. And you got this guy named Geeky, is it? 11th overall.
Gadicki or
pick.
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
but they need more scoring depth, guys. They need Nick Paul to start earning that big money, that big paycheck that he got.
Agree.
This team's got some questions, and are they ready to compete for a Stanley Cup next year? I would say.
I think they'll be in better shape next year coming up than they were this year.
I do too. Harry. I really do.
That's just my own personal opinion. I think this team got better. They got younger. They're going to get faster. And this is the one thing that I kept preaching about all year long, even though we didn't talk too much Lightning. You and I have talked a little Lightning before, Peter, off air, where I said this team is not as fast as what they used to be. And let me tell you something, man. In the NHL, 2 words: speed kills. The end.
If you can see that, then this organization, including the general manager, can see that, and teams can see that. And you can also look at the performance versus the Florida Panthers. The Panthers were clearly a younger team. They were a better team. They were more
speed. Say it with me, Pete. It's very cathartic. Speed kills.
Speed kills.
And the Florida Panthers, they remind me of the Texas Rangers from last year. They just, they caught fire in a bottle. And they just went on a run, okay? Did anybody think that the Texas Rangers were going to be as good as they were at the end of the season? I didn't. Peter,
Well,
you,
I
anybody,
will tell you,
Travis?
they made the moves
No.
at the right time at the deadline.
No. I don't care. Even with the moves.
Well, the moves are the moves that that's what makes
No,
them get over the top.
Did anybody think that they were going to take Baltimore and slap them around like a bitch that they were? Are
No.
you serious?
No, I didn't think
Okay.
that. No.
So that is exactly what the Florida Panthers were this year. That's just my personal opinion. I'm just giving you an analogy. I don't think the Panthers are as good as what people made them out to be. I think there was a couple of other teams that could have, you line them up again, Florida doesn't beat them.
But they were due.
And Tampa was
right.
one of those teams.
Right. But they weren't good enough, and like you said, they weren't young enough and fast enough, and that's exactly what JBB is trying to do at the expense of the captain, Steven Stamkos. Travis, anything else here on the evolution?
And getting back to what Harry just said, I don't think the Panthers really had many flaws at all, where you can go through the other teams that they matched up against. They all had a flaw. And like you said, the Lightning, lack of scoring depth in the third and the fourth line. You saw the Rangers, lack of scoring all the way across the board, up and down their lineup.
True.
Yeah.
Yes, they have great defensemen and a great goalie. Yeah, but they're weak in the 2, 3, and 4 lines. And Boston, I would say the same thing. But Florida had it up and down. They were a complete team, and they were hungry because they lost last year. You know how you have to get to the dance sometimes before you can actually ask the girl to dance or walk her out the door, i.e. the Stanley Cup. So, the Lightning did it multiple times before they won it, in the grand scheme of things of their playoff career. But guys, it's a sad day, but it's also a positive day for this organization going forward.
Good stuff, Travis Haley of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Well said, as always, my friend. Hot takes with Travis, always a great addition here on the Evolution.
Here's my hot take.
Yes.
Here's my hot take.
Don't sing
And
Panama.
Right to JP's face. This
Panama.
These 2 soccer tournaments have been fantastic. The goaltending has been absolutely amazing.
Let's continue to talk about the communist sport.
Watch the best players in the world play for their countries. Ronaldo, come on, guys. It's time. Euro Cup. Copa
There should
Cup.
be a limit on how many players are named Ronaldo.
Go.
Okay.
Just because you don't understand the game, Harry.
I understand the game, buddy. I understand the game very, very well. I'll tell you what, Travis, and anybody that's out there right now, I want you guys to write this down.
Don't tell me the score because I'm taping the game right now.
Hold on. I'm not giving anybody the score. I just want you to guys to see something very comical. I want you to go to YouTube when the show is over, obviously. And I want you to look up a comedian. His name is Mr. Panos. It's Panos. Mr. Panos. And I want you to look up World Soccer Tips and then watch the video. That's all I'm going to tell you.
You're such
Mr. Panos, World Cup Tips.
For 2 minutes.
No, he doesn't do that. Just do me a favor.
To Hawk to
No, please. Mr. Panos,
parlay, right?
World Cup Tips. Just watch it. He will tell you how all teams win. Just do it. The guy is absolutely hilarious. You're going to love me for it. Peter?
Yes.
They win by putting the ball in the net. That's how they win.
Oh my
That's
God.
madness for you.
Lord, please forgive me. Lord, he's not from Chicago and he's not from my offspring.
It's the Chicago connection right there. Harry the Greek, I know you got to get out of here. Thanks a lot for your time. Travis, thanks a lot for your time. Guys, we'll see you soon here on the Evolution, all right?
Travis, have a great one. Peter.
No, I'm not talking wrestling. I'll talk more hockey if you want, or more
wrestling,
more football. Yeah, we're gonna talk. You want to talk wrestling?
That was my exit stage right. I'll see you later.
Yeah, mine. I'm going to left. You go right. I'll go left.
All right. See you guys later. There you go. Harry the Greek right there. Happy birthday. Let's go out to the tribal troll. That's not
Acknowledge me.
Mr. Roger Shue, welcome to the Sports Web.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good. Well, I've been waiting for this night for several weeks because I'm the only one that came on the Sports Web and told you that Stamkos was leaving.
Okay.
And you told me I was nuts. You told me I was crazy.
I did. You're exactly right. You know why, Roger? Because you're the same guy that said the Bears were going to the Super Bowl last year.
Easy. Easy. Did I hear Bears? Easy.
Whoa.
Don't you? You
I'm
could
glad you
disrespect
brought that up,
Roger, but
Peter.
not my Bears. By the way, Roger,
I'm glad you brought that up, Peter.
Yeah,
you
go
are
ahead.
crazy. Goodbye.
You did also say that Justin Fields was the second coming, did you not?
Who, me?
No, Roger, because Roger wants to pat himself on the back tonight, and he wants to make a point of emphasis of
We're
why
talking
no,
hockey and soccer. We're not talking
Wait,
football.
whoa, wait a minute.
Easy on
Wait a
Roger
minute.
today. I
Wait
gotta
a
go.
minute
Bye.
now. All right, get out of
And
here.
Harry-
Roger, you created this nightmare.
Go,
You stepped in the doo-doo. Bye-bye.
You wanted this tonight, so you're going to get it. There you go. So you want to tell me how I told you so, and
So
you want
Peter,
people.
when are you
Wait.
going to pay my bet for the Stamkos bet we made?
What bet is that? When are you going to pay my bet for the
The
Bucks?
$50 bet we made?
$50? I don't think we made any $50 bet.
Yeah, we did.
What, we did? Really? I don't
Yeah.
think that on this show because it wasn't official. I didn't make no
Oh.
$50. I didn't make no $50 bet with you. I would have never made no $50 bet with you on Steven Stamkos. And if I did, it would have been officially on the show. The only bet we made, my friend, was on Caleb Williams and Baker Mayfield and your Bears versus the Bucks. That's the only bet. But by the way, just to answer, wait, whoa. Stand by here. Pump your brakes a minute. This ain't policy, Scout. I'm not getting interrupted like Esther and Gertrude.
I'm not Ethel. I'm not Mildred, baby.
Well, you act like it because you're trying to pat yourself on the back and say, why didn't anybody believe me? Because it's like Peter cried wolf. It's like the guy who always says the Chicken Little here. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Oh, Justin Fields supposed to be a great quarterback. No, he
doesn't
wasn't.
even
Hold
play
on.
for the Chicago Bears any longer.
No, he doesn't. You know why? Because he wasn't good. But you were saying last year how great
He
he
is
was.
still good.
You
Look
were
how good
also-
he's playing with Pittsburgh.
Hold on. I'm going to answer your question of why nobody took you for seriously when you had your prediction about Steven Stamkos. Because you are a hater. You're a
homer.
You are a Tampa Bay hater. You're always
You're a
Tampa
homer.
Bay hater.
You don't listen to reason.
You didn't think the Bucks were going to make the playoffs last year. They did. You didn't think the Bucks were going to win the division last year. They did. You thought the Bears were going to win the division. They didn't. You thought Justin Fields was going to be a great quarterback.
Can
You
we go
did.
back to talking hockey and soccer like the show was based on earlier?
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying the reason why, because you wanted
Just
to come on.
acknowledge that I was right.
You wanted to bring a knife to a gunfight, and I got the
Just
bazooka, my friend.
Just
I
acknowledge that I
got the
was right.
bazooka. No, you were right about this, but you were wrong about
That's all
everything.
I wanted to hear.
You were wrong about
Now,
everything
Peter
else.
Blake, here's my thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb
Yeah.
and say if the Chicago Bears do not win minimum the NFC North, I will come live on the sports web and I will paint my fingernails blue and orange for the Chicago Bears.
You better start. You better get yourself a manicurist right now because you're going to start painting your fingernails there, blue and orange or whatever the colors are, because they're not going to win that division, my friend. You're out of your mind. You're in the twilight zone.
So, do you accept?
I absolutely accept. You paint your fingernails on my show.
I will do
You
it
wanna
live on your show.
Do it. Do it. You absolutely can do it, my friend. Absolutely do it. Anything
right.
else? Anything else? I'm not painting my fingernails. You paint your fingernails. That's your bet. We already got a bet. We already got a bet that the Bucks are going to win more games than the Bears. We also got a bet out there for what? Caleb Williams? What's that bet on? What's that bet on?
Let's see. Hot Tua on Green Bay.
What?
Hot Tua on Green Bay.
Oh God! You know
This guy
Yeah.
sucks.
you guys really need to stop that crap. You really do. You guys need to leave that girl alone. Leave her alone. Leave the
She knows what
leave the
it's all
hot Tua
about.
girl alone.
She knows what it's all about. I love that girl.
You could also say Aaron Rodgers hawked to it on the Bears for the
I'm
last
looking
10
at
to
Liv Morgan
15.
right now.
Hold
Hush.
on. You could say that Aaron Rodgers hawked Tua on the Bears for the last 10 to 15 years. You could say
And
that.
so did Brett Favre before him. Who
Can we
cares?
say that?
That was then.
Okay. All right.
I'm
Good to
looking
go.
at Liv Morgan beating up Zelina Vega.
Okay, well, enjoy that, my friend. Thanks a lot for coming on, as always, and use that second call if you want to, all right?
I'm going to. I'll talk to you a little bit.
Fire me up like that. You know, all day long, I'm going to put up with people's crap, and you're going to come on here and try to interrupt me on my show? Not happening. Not in this day and lifetime. No way. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. He brought a knife to a gunfight, and I got the bazooka. Let's go out to the comments here. Let's go out to Roger Shue. What's up? Yes, what's up with you? Tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Peter, Jeremy, how's it going, brother?
I'm doing good, buddy. You know, that guy's firing me up. He's a tribal troll, but he's firing me up. Don't fire me up now. Don't come on this show and pat yourself on the back and say, why didn't somebody respect your opinion? Because your opinions most of the time are hot garbage. That's why. They're hot trash. All right, go ahead, Jeremy. Sorry.
I just don't get the hype behind Caleb Williams. I really don't.
Well, you know, listen, I know the Bears fans right now, they're excited. There's all kinds of hype. He's the number 1 overall pick. What he did in college the last 2 years, I get all that. But you also got to be realistic about it. But listen, as Bucs fans, if Caleb Williams, remember what Jameis Winston, when he came into a Bucs uniform, how excited, were you saying he's going to make the playoffs? You know, I said, I think maybe 10 games they would win their first year, and they were 6-6 at the time until Quan Alexander got suspended, and then they finished 6-10. But you had the same hype, you had the same excitement about Winston. The same thing is going on right now with the Chicago Bears.
I mean, I wasn't too hyped about Jameis Winston, to be honest. I didn't care for him when we drafted him.
Yeah.
You know, I understand there were a lot of Florida State homers, you know, that were big on him. I did try to get behind him. However, you know, he's a Buccaneer. I looked past that. But unfortunately, it didn't work out, so it is what it is. And that's how I feel about Caleb Williams. I just don't buy the hype at all. And as far as the Bears go, I think they did do some improvements. But that guy's prediction is just wild. That's all I got to say about that.
That's Roger Shoup for you. You know, he calls us a homer and all this other stuff, fanboys, but he's the biggest homer there. But we love him here. We love him because he's a moderator on the show on YouTube. I got to ask you, Jeremy, what did you think about the move today with Stamkos moving on to Nashville?
Well, like the other gentleman was saying, you know, he made a lot of sense. It's a good day, but also a sad day.
Yeah.
As far as Stamkos go, you know, we all love him. You know, my first and only hockey jersey I have is Stamkos when he first became captain back in, I think, 2014 or 13. I remember going to the arena and I got his jersey. I was a big supporter. I mean, hell, Peter, I was a senior in high school when he got drafted.
Yeah.
You know, I was a very big Steven Stamkos fan. But the one thing I will say is JBB is getting a lot of heat from the fans. I get it. A lot of the fans are pissed about it. But you got to look at it as a business decision. And unfortunately, you know, JBB had made some tough decisions today or even a couple of days before that he already knew that most likely Stamkos was not going to stay. And the amount of money he's getting from Nashville, congratulations. I'm happy for you. Go make that money.
Yep.
You know, but at the same time, you got to look at age and father time. You know, Stamkos did go through some injuries, but he's played the last couple of years, you know, staying healthy best he can. You know, I listened to the video when he was talking with, I believe, the hockey station. I'm not sure what it's called, but he pretty much put out there he was just about confused as the fans are and all that. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. And you got to give JBB some credit going, you know, in the press conference and pretty much putting it all out there for Steven Stamkos on how he was disappointing. And then also Stamkos was disappointed. The fan base, you got to give JBB a chance. Let's see what happens with Gwenzel. I can never pronounce that name. My apologies on that. But
Gunsel, Gunsel, I think it is. Yeah.
Gunsel, I'm excited for. I think he's going to be a great addition on that line with him, Kucherov, and Point. I think you're going to see a bigger difference, him getting the puck in there and all that. And remember, we went back-to-back, bounced out of the first round. You know, so JBB had to make some moves. He had to bring in some faster, younger players. You know, and the trade they got for Sergachev, I mean, bravo. The haul they got for him. And Sergachev, we all thought was going to be the Nets guy to take over for Victor Hedman. But now that wasn't the case because he wasn't really showing it. And don't get me wrong, I love Sergachev. I wish him the best in Utah. I hope he balls, you know, he goes in there and, you know, proves everybody that he's one of the top guys in the league, which I think he can be. It's just he's had bad luck and injuries. But as far as Stamkos go, I wish him the best. I'm gonna treasure that jersey he signed. Not only my jersey, but my daughter's jersey as well.
Mm-hmm.
What he's done with the community and the fans, you know. And at least he didn't go to a team like Boston, Toronto, Detroit. I mean, those are teams I would have been more worried about.
Sure.
They say he goes to Nashville, and you got to give Nashville credit. They brought him in. They brought 2 other big-time players in. I mean, this could be a good, opportunity for them to possibly make a run. We'll see. But I'm excited for the next coming season with the Lightning. You add Jake in there. You bring in a couple other people, some veterans. I was hoping for Declare to come back, but he went to the Islanders. I saw that earlier today, so that's out of the question. But don't be surprised if they make a couple other moves. You never know. I mean, at the end of the day, the window's still open. I think with the key pieces we have, and like JP Peterson said all this time, I watched his show, by the way.
Thank you.
We're gonna have a healthy Andre Vasilevsky back into the net, which I think will be a huge difference to where I think we'll see a better goalie play out of Vasi. I'm not saying we're going to be top in our conference, but I think we got a better shot at making another run because Florida already lost a top player to Seattle. He got paid a lot of money. I know they brought back Reinhardt, and there's still free agents out there they can go after for a reasonable price. So at the end of the day, Stamkos is no longer a Lightning. He's a Nashville Predator. And we got to keep the ball rolling, and try to get behind JBB. Remember, he did help produce 2 Stanley Cups.
Yep.
And you can't sleep on that. You got to give the guy a chance. Unless we just have a bit fallout, we don't make the playoffs, and that's going to be a big issue. But I just don't see that happening. Remember, you got to piss off Kucherov. We didn't win any of those rewards the other night.
Yeah, well, that'd be extra motivation for him, and hopefully he carries that on. But you're exactly right. You still have talent on this team. You still have most of your core, but you lose Stamkos. What's the fallout? How is it going to affect the power play? How is it going to affect the team overall? It's something that we definitely are going to have to watch throughout the season. Anything else here, Jeremy?
Also just want to throw out there that the Rays are still average team at best. I'm glad that they're winning some series, make it interesting.
Right.
But at the same time,
4 series in a row now. So I know everybody wants to say, they're 500 and they're average. I get that they had their struggles, but it looks like they're starting to put something together here. 4 series in a row. We'll see if they can get on a winning streak before the All-Star break, because if they don't, then most likely they're going to be sellers. And you like to see them be buyers. And I know the Rays are never buyers, but you like to see it happen. You're not sure if it's going to happen. But if they, go into this Kansas City series and get swept and they get swept again, then it's going to be really difficult to justify not being a seller and getting rid of players like a Randy Arozarena, possibly a Brandon Lau, possibly a Yandy Diaz. And you hope that doesn't happen because it's tough on Tampa Bay Rays fans, but that could be the reality of the situation. Jeremy, thanks a lot for the call. Definitely use the second call if you want to here on the Sports Web. All right, my friend?
Absolutely, Peter. God bless you, brother. Take care.
God bless you too, brother. Definitely want to hear from you fans tonight about the Steven Stamkos move to Nashville. What are your thoughts? What are your greatest memories of him? What's the greatest memory? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Let's go ahead and read these comments, and then we'll get on to some Bucks news here. Talk about, once again, another national media head talking badly about the expectations about the Bucks in 2024. All the best. Thanks for all you did, Mary. Great attitude there. Good comment.
Oh, yeah.
Roger says, I told you all he was gone. Nobody believed me. Again, I already addressed that, but congratulations on being right about one thing. Every once in a while, a squirrel does get a nut. You would be a squirrel because you have no nuts. That's bars right there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, Peter, says Tim. Let's go out to Roger Shue. When are you going to pay me on our bet? That wasn't official. Come on. Roger, scroll up BS number 1. KR says, yeah, but JBB couldn't pay that price what Stammer was looking for, and it sucks. KR, as always, bring it here on the Evolution there on YouTube. Of course, YouTube Super Chats are open. If you like the content, give to it. Facebook stars are open. Give to that. Laura, I definitely know. Peter H., what's going on, honey? How you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Travis Faley. Stop singing, Pete. I will definitely do that.
Woo!
Laura says, heartbroken today. I know how much of a big Tampa Bay Lightning fan you are. I know how close you are to the players. So I know a fan like you is going to take it hard. But that is the business, and it's tough. That's the one thing that's tough about being a sports fan sometimes is our idols move on. The captains move on to, somewhere else to captain another ship, and it's going to be Smashville with the Nashville Predators. Boy, I'm just rhyming tonight like hell. No, he didn't. He did. I know what you're talking about, Laura. Thank you very much for tuning in. Jim says, we'll miss Stammer, but you can't overpay for past performance. Got to go with the younger talent. I'm a huge Stamkos fan too. Going to root for him in Nashville, but we got better today. Good stuff, Jim. I agree with you on that, as much as it pains me to say that. I love Steven Stamkos. I love what he brought to this organization, but going to, looking at it on paper, and this is just on paper, we don't know what's going to happen on ice. We don't know what's going to happen this year. We don't know, what shifts and how this team is going to respond and what that, locker room is going to be like without a Stammer. James Splash Ludeman says 40 goals, 81 points. Everyone is trying to justify his play. I'd take anyone who can get 40 and 80 plus points in a season. Agree with you. Agree. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Sports Web.
Eric from Lakeland, Florida. What's going on, Peter? Best sports talk show in Tampa Bay area.
Man, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the love and support. And I know this, this hits a fan like you because you're another diehard. We talk about Laura, Alex Nunster comes on this show, big time Rays fan. I know you're a big time Tampa Bay fan there. Jeremy hits him hard. So, give me your thoughts on Stamkos moving on to Nashville.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, when they let Vincent LeCavier go to Philly, I mean, I think the Lions still have a lot of talent.
Sure.
Gunsel looks like he'll be. He's another. I'm not really into hockey, but I watch it occasionally. So then the Lightning will make the playoffs. I mean, we still got a lot of talent.
Well, you just think about it. You pair him up with Braden Point and Kucherov. That first line is pretty damn good. And this guy's coming off, 30 goals last year. So that's pretty impressive in itself. He also has that championship pedigree. He's been on those type of teams. So, I mean, it's good for both parties, and they went all in on him. They paid $9 million a year, and he's 29 years old, so he's younger than Stammer. I'm not saying he's as good as Stammer or he's better at Stammer, but right now he's younger. He's a younger option, and we'll see how it plays out because you go back to what Harry was talking about. When you look at the Florida series and when you look at overall this Lightning team, how old they looked and how slow they looked, and that's what JBB is trying to improve this upcoming year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right. What else, Eric?
Think the Rays still have a chance.
Okay. And you're excited about them winning 4 series in a row here. Why do you think they got a chance?
I mean, we got a tough. I mean, the next 12 games will really tell. We got the Royals. That's going to be a tough series. And then the Rangers. They've kind of got us for the last couple of years, but I think we can take them. And then Cleveland, and then the Yankees, and then the All-Star break. So they need to go. I think 7-5.
That's a tough go.
8-4, 7-5, 8-4. I think
that's a tough go.
We'll get us
definitely got to get
to 2 games, 2.5 games wild card.
Okay.
Yeah, Houston is getting hot too, so they play. So, just keep winning series. Maybe a sweep would have been nice with the Nationals, but hey, I'll take series wins. But you got to get sweeps to, get up the standings.
You agree? Completely agree.
Get the teams you should, and steal some series if you can.
Absolutely, my friend. And you look at what Taj Bradley did yesterday with the 11 strikeouts. He's developing. He's a young developing pitcher. Listen, this Rays team, they might not be. Look, they're not going to win a division more than likely, and who knows if they win the wild card. But you look at next year, and I know the Rays are always in this perpetual rebuild. You look at the pitching staff next year. You look at Taj Bradley and Pepio and McClanahan coming back there, and Springs, Rasmussen. Yeah, I mean, the future's bright, my friend. So just chin up. It may not be the year for the Rays. That's okay. We'll see what happens next year. If it doesn't, hopefully they're not sellers. But like you said, if you're not winning against Kansas City and the Guardians, then you're going to have to definitely make some moves, and it's going to be a tough pill to swallow for a lot of Rays fans out there. But we'll have it here on the Sports Web, and we'll get through it together. Anything else here on the Sports Web?
I'm excited about football season. I know training camp is right around the corner, but I'm excited. I'm excited about our receiver depth and our offensive line. I think Graham Barton is going to be. I think he's going to be a stud. He reminds me of Ryan Jensen a lot. Has that. That, and just great player. Not going to let get too many hits.
Mm-hmm.
Klein might be really good. And they brought some other offensive line depth in.
Yeah, Bren Brederson from the Giants, and you got Opeta from the Eagles. Yeah. So that's going to be for me the most improved unit and the exciting unit that I'm looking at. Who's going to solidify those positions? We know that Graham Barton is going to be your center at this point. We assume. How much of an upgrade is it going to be over Hansey? Who's going to be your starting left guard? Is it going to be Hansey? Is it going to be a Brederson? Is it going to be Opeta? Is it going to be a Klein? How good is this offensive line going to be at first? How long is it going to take them to gel? That's one of the position groupings that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. Eric, thanks a lot for the call. Use that second call if you want to, my friend. Appreciate the love as always, all right?
Have a good night, Peter.
All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Plenty of calls tonight. Plenty of interaction when it comes to the Steven Stamkos because, look, 16 seasons, 2 Stanley Cups, so many games played, so many great memories when it comes to that player. And I tell you right now, I got to get out to this guy because he called before. He called on this birthday. We didn't get a chance to get a hold of him. So hopefully we can wish him a happy birthday. It's Best of the Bay himself, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, as we'll get his thoughts because, to me, he's like a Tampa Bay historian of the sports web when it comes to, looking at perspective, looking at this, looking at that.
Ray Kennedy?
And he's not there. So, Mr. Kennedy, not there again.
Mr. Kennedy!
He's not there. So we got to play his intro another time. If he decides to call back, once again, happy birthday to you, Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. All right, so let's go out to Thomas, Toronto, New York, Montreal. No interest in Stamkos. Ralph says, happy Independence Day to Harry, JP, and Peter. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Happy Independence Day to you. JBB needs to go. I mean, again, this is the emotion that I'm hearing from fans, but you forget of all the great moves that he's made. You forget the 2 Stanley Cups. And don't just give, Steve Yzerman all the credit. It was JBB also making the right moves. So I'm not ready to say JBB needs to go, but I understand the emotion. Again, great comment as always, Zach. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Vic says Stammer said he would settle for 4.5 to remain in Tampa. It certainly seems like he may have settled for 4.5, but he got $8 million. So I don't know what to believe at this point because he definitely got the money from Nashville. This is absolute bull. I get it, Richard. I understand the emotion. They screwed up with Stamkos worse. Richard says, Julian has absolutely crossed the line. Why do we still have this dude at the helm? Because he won 2 Stanley Cups for you. And because you believe in him. And you believe that he can put this team together. And also the last couple years here, you've been eliminated in the first round. So it's time to make some changes, is it not? Especially last year, being eliminated by the Florida Panthers, who eventually won the Stanley Cup. Isn't it time to change the team around a little bit? According to JBB, the reason why you make that move is because going forward, it would not have been good for the organization when it, and I got the exact comment here. Let's see. Let me see where that comment is. But in so many words, it was not going to be good for the organization to continue with that type of contract in order to be a championship contender with the money. Not my words. That's the general manager's words. So I don't know about crossing the line. I think again, I get it. I understand it. There's emotion in this, but crossing the line, remember, 2 Stanley Cups. They aren't going to win a cup. Trust me. We'll see. I'm not ready to rule that out yet. What's going on, Christopher? Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Zach Mitchell. Sergachev was a turnover machine. Absolutely. Richard says they offered Sergei a mega contract, ignored Stamkos just to dump him the following year and still ignore Steve. Julian was going to get rid of him from the start of his tender. He's a snake. Watch if Kucherov stops producing. He's gone. Actually, pretty sure when Kuch turns 35, he's gone. Might as well get rid of Vazzy also before he turns 35. I mean, you're just thinking the sky is falling at this point. Like, no faith in the organization. You're a fan. I get that. I understand. But have you not watched the last 5 to 7 years of this team? Have you not watched the last 10 years of this team? Have some faith. Let's go out. Favorite was Stammer proving Barry Melrose was wrong. How he was going to not amount to the hype. Good stuff, Zach. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Christopher Cole. JBB got the best winger on the market. True. David, happy late birthday, Harry, and happy birthday to Ray if he's watching. Absolutely. Let's go out to Todd here. JBB trust was broken after the Jeannot trade. Again, I get that. I understand it. It wasn't a good trade. It didn't work out. But guess what? Just like Jason Light, they turned the page. They got some value for that trade, and they moved on. General managers make bad moves all the time. The Rays are saluted on this show all the time of how many moves they make, and they make bad moves also. Not every general manager is going to be perfect. They're not. They're going to make their mistakes. And I heard this from Luke Easterling yesterday on Twitter. Tampa Bay, you're glad to have general managers that turn the page on, decisions that they make that are bad. They turn the page on it. They don't continue to go with the same player over and over again. That's what you did with Jeannot. What's going on, Christine? Hello, love. What's going on? Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate it. Todd goes JBB Trust. Okay. Read that one. Todd again. Slightly better at best. Zach, I predicted the Panthers were going to win the cup, and you were correct about that. Everyone knew the Panthers were contenders. Zach, Panthers won based on their forecheck. They would overwhelm teams' defense. Absolutely. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Lions or Packers will win the North. Christopher, again, if Evans wouldn't have talked with his wife, he would be gone too. And I know there would be Bucs fans out there that would most likely feel the same way about Jay. How could you get rid of Mike Evans? It's a tough move. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it is also a business at the end of the day. And JBB told you a couple days ago that Stamkos earned the right to be a free agent. He earned the right. Nashville paid him $8 million. That was too rich for the Lightning. They moved on. I know it's tough. Give me your favorite memory of the night. Tell me about what you think about this situation. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's not an easy pill to swallow for sure, but Getzel is younger, better player right now in his career. The moves JBB has made the last few days will keep the Bolts competitive going forward. Great comment.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, Steve. Exactly. Let's go out to Instagram. Any comments out there? Want to read these comments here, I believe, from Bolts Life. Thanks a lot for tuning in right now. We really appreciate that. Was working to get some guests on. Thank God for JP to come on and really give us the inside analysis. I love that. And he works for Lightning Vision. He's been around that organization, and he was shocked. Because to me, it was a foregone conclusion that they would get that extension done, but it just didn't happen. That's just sometimes, was it personal? I don't think it was personal, but maybe it was. Who knows? This started last year. And you were thinking, you know what? It's the same type of deal with Mike Evans that he'll get this contract done, and he didn't get it done. Kurt says, a very sad day. Thank you very much. All of you keep your day jobs. The Bolts are going to be dangerous. Okay. We'll all keep our day jobs. My day job is sales, but also my job is the sports web. If you don't know what that is, it is a cross between a TV and radio show with phone calls, open phone line, 727-255-0391. 0391. It's 727-255-0391. Ray says, Stamkos was our best forward in the playoffs, not Cooch, not Point. Stammer was the most consistent scorer this postseason. I tend to agree with you, which is why I'm still shocked by that. Why didn't they bring him back? What was the number? What was the reason? The reasoning was because they thought going forward that it was not going to help their team, that it was not going to keep their team championship competitive. That's what they thought. Orlando says, guess he wasn't our $1 million baby. I mean, he was for 16 years, and now he's moved on. How many years is he going to play for Nashville remains to be seen. Excuse me. Father Time is undefeated. So we'll see how that goes with Stamkos going to Smashville. All right, let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I know there's a lot of Buccaneer fans out there. Adam Rank of NFL Network recently went through NFL team schedule and decided to break down each team's games for the final season record. Now, you know, on this show, I've said 11 wins. I definitely think they can have 11 wins. I said 10 last year, missed it by 1. We'll see if I can get it right this year. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, has been on this show and has said the Bucs have the opportunity to not only win 10 games or more, but if things work out, they could be one of the top teams in the NFC. We've heard from Mike Florio, 9th overall team in the league, saying that this team doesn't get enough respect. And we've heard other viewpoints from other national media pundits saying that the Atlanta Falcons are going to have more wins than the Bucs, that the Carolina Panthers, that the Bucs would only have one more win than the Panthers. We've heard the disrespect, and here's a disrespectful comment or a opinion, because everybody has an opinion. Adam Rank at NFL Network says he ranks for the surprise champions last year, winning the NFC South again. Hey, they won a playoff game. Well, listen, they didn't just win a playoff game. They won that division overall. And nobody thought in the national media, which I kind of thinking you were one of those people that didn't think they were going to win. So you want to pat yourself on the back today and say, well, they won one playoff game, big deal. They also were a couple plays away from beating the Lions. But it's neither here nor there. The national media was all over the Bucs last year, right? They were saying that they were only going to win about 2 or 3 games. So this is what this stems from right here. Once again, no respect for the Bucs. Rank doesn't believe there will be any surprises this year, as he has the Bucs finishing 6-11. So a team that went 9-8 last year, won the NFC South, and absolutely destroyed the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card game 32-9, is now going to go 6-11. Okay. Everybody has a right to their opinion. That's what we do here on the Sports Web. Let's go out to the phone call. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Sports Web.
I'm watching Peter Blake.
What's going on, Trace? How you doing, buddy?
No, I'm doing wonderfully, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We're talking Stammer tonight. I know you had an experience with him. I know you got some thoughts and some good time memories. And then we're also talking about this egregious Leo word prediction with the Bucs going 6-11 for 2024.
Yeah. You know, I hate to say this, but I don't put a lot of stock in a lot of these reporters.
No, you don't.
They get paid to write articles, and the worse they write it, the more they run somebody into the ground, the more people want to go, oh, give me more, give me more, give me more.
True.
And I just don't think guys, I mean, they might be good, but they have nefarious reasons for doing what they do.
Well, you're right. They're absolutely correct about that. He also has this to say, Rank, I think last season was special for Baker Mayfield, but I think it's going to be a struggle this year. I have the Bucs for 6 victories. So again, it goes back to Baker Mayfield, and the reason why this Bucs team doesn't get their just due and respect is not only because they're Tampa Bay sports, and there seems like the national media does have an axe to grind, if you will, but also the fact of Baker Mayfield has never had a consistent year. That's a talking point for people, and that's what they're going to go off of.
maybe so. I'll bet you a chicken wings dinner
Okay.
at a minimum of 9 wins.
I'm taking that.
Not
bet.
including playoffs.
Okay, playoffs. You say playoffs? Playoffs.
Playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they're trying. I don't give up on them. Jason Light has approved himself to me as a very good judge of talent.
Right. And
this coach we've got is not a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the connections. I've been around some of these guys over time, and I'm telling you, they fight to the very end. So, and Baker's going to break us. I think he's going to really bring them to the promised land, and we're just going to eke our way into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know if it's going to be eke your way to the playoffs, but listen, this division is up for grabs. It is every year. It's highly competitive. The Bucks lose to New Orleans 1. They had an opportunity to lose to Carolina. There were a couple games last year. They were bad, so it's highly competitive. So is it a possibility for them to eke it out? Yeah, but I actually think they're going to be better this year because of the offensive coordinator changing. I think Baker will be comfortable in this offense. I think they're going to be a lot better in offense, and I think the defense is going to be a lot better, especially that back end with Jordan Whitehead. So I'll take the bet. I think they go 11 wins. I go 11-6. I'm not going to go 6-11.
11 wins.
Yep.
I would love to see that.
I know a lot of people would. They're like, "You're the eternal optimist. Why do we believe you?" And I'm throwing it out there. I was only 1 win away from being correct on the 10 wins. They should have beat Houston last year, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, you score 37 points. You should win that game, and you don't. You give up 39, so that's the problem right there. Give me your memory of Steven Stamkos, because I know you got some personal stuff with him. Go ahead and tell me about Steven Stamkos a little bit.
I have been the Santa for St. Joe's Children's Hospital for going on, 18, 19, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came to Tampa in his rookie season, they brought him out because all the hoopla about him was amazing. And they brought him out to the hospital for one of the Christmas events. And I'm sitting there looking over there, and I know who he is because I've seen him and I've seen him in the news and stuff. And I started asking nurses, go ask Steven Stamkos to come over and talk to me.
Sure.
No, he won't do that. He won't do that. Well, you can't turn Santa down. I had to tell him point blank, this is what Santa wants. Well, my 4th or 5th nurse, she finally says, yeah, I'll go over and say something. He comes over and walks up. He's grinning from ear to ear, and he says, hey, Santa, I hear you want to talk to me. Well, I'm not talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
What? Well, I'll talk to you if you'll sit in my lap.
Okay.
And he kind of looked at me a second. He goes, I'll do that. And he sits right down in my lap. I got a photo of it. And that's what I really, really wanted for memory, And he was a bright young man, very talkative. He only spent 2 or 3 minutes with me, but it was cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And that's what he seems like, kind of person. And again, there's no hard feelings for him to get more money from Nashville. Again, that's the business of it. Is it a shame that he's not going to finish his career with the Tampa Bay Lightning? Yeah, of course it is. But again, it's also a business. He had to do what's best for not only himself, but his family and his kids. So I salute him. I hope he does well for Nashville.
I do too.
And I hope the Tampa Bay Lightning are better for this. I don't know if they are. It's tough because he is such a great player. One of these days, he's going to be most likely a Hall of Famer, and he's going to have a statue
in
front of Amalie Arena, and he deserves that with everything that he's done throughout his career for this Tampa Bay Lightning organization.
And this is the hardest part that people don't understand about pro sports.
Sure.
It's just like you said, it's a business.
Yep. It's definitely a business, and it's a tough thing. It's a tough pill to swallow. And that's why I wanted to open up the phone lines tonight for Lightning fans to get their memories of him and get some thoughts. And listen, I know how you feel about JBB. I know how you feel about Jason Light. Do you have faith in JBB? Because I feel like fans should, with the 2 Stanley Cups and the moves that he's made. So even with this move, Trace, do you have faith in JBB going forward for this Lightning organization?
I was worried about it until I saw this guy's record last year.
Yeah.
And the numbers that he put up. So, I'm with Amped Up Sports, and we have a situation with Cooper, who just loves Leo to death.
Loves him.
And so he has personally, I mean, I don't know the guy. Never spoke to him. I've only seen him from afar, just shooting photos of him. But just based on the way he does things and the way the team responds and rebounds, these people know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Complete faith in them. But they are human. There can be mistakes made. But, I'd rather get something for this guy while I can.
Well, you got rid of him. You got rid of him and free agency. You didn't really get anything from him, but you freed up that salary to sign somebody that's a little bit younger there. And then also this roster, it seems like they've gotten better with the depth and everything else. Trace, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you as always here on the Sports Web, my friend. All right.
And I'll sign off as Peter Blake.
Love it. There you go. Good stuff there, my friend. Let me go ahead and give him the horn for that. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Talking about Steven Stamkos, of course, signing with the Nashville Predators today. Lightning fans, what do you think of it? Are you in total shock when you heard it? When I heard it, I couldn't believe it. But again, it is a part of the bit. And I thought, during the weekend, when they freed up all that money, that it was going to go to Stamkos, and it didn't happen. It didn't. So Eric Moreno says Evans was staying anyways. Well, that wasn't a certainty, because we remember Bucs fans saying he's going to pick Kansas City. He's going to go somewhere else. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And then you hear the story about his wife saying, you know what? We kind of want to stay in Tampa. We like the fact of the organization. People say, well, the Lightning weren't loyal to Steven Stamkos. Well, Steven Stamkos could have done the same thing for Tampa. He could have been loyal to them. They could have hashed out a contract. He could have taken less money. But again, that's not always the reality of the situation. And sometimes change is good, even though it hurts. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. 0391. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Soccer refs are just as bad as the other sports refs. I mean, what's new about that, Christopher?
Oh, yeah.
We love to pick on the officials and the umpires and everything else. They're never good, right? Good night. Great show. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you as always. That's Amped Up Sports. Let's go back out to Adam Rank, who says, and this is from Joe Bucks fan, so thanks a lot. Hat tip to them, as always, doing great work when it comes to Bucks content. Again, surprise champions last year. Hey, they won a playoff game. They're going to go 6-11. He also thinks that the jet lag the Eagles will have from traveling to Brazil to open the season against the Packers will finally catch up with them in the heat and humidity of a late September game in Tampa. He also expects the Bucs will be coming off a home loss to the bumbling Broncos in Week 3.
Shut up!
Really? The Broncos. Who do they have starting at quarterback? Is it Zach Wilson? Who is it? Is it, what is it, Bo Callahan? No, Bo Nix. Bo knows. He's a rookie quarterback. Sean Payton's going to turn that team around. They're going to come in here and beat the Bucs. I don't know about that. I'm sorry about that.
This guy sucks.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't. The Bucs have a midseason slump. Rank says after beating the Eagles at home in Week 4, Rank has the Bucs losing 6 of their next 7 games. Ouch, babe. Of course, that is the midseason where you play the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints and the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. And the Bucs have no opportunity, no chance at all to beat any of those teams because those teams are far greater than the Bucs. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. Gotcha again. 10-4. In Monday night's game against Kansas City, Rank says, I think it's safe to say that's a loss. You think it's safe to say that's a loss? Maybe it's a win. Because, the last time I checked with the Bucs, I don't know if anybody knows this because everybody wants to crown the Kansas City Chiefs as a dynasty. You can go ahead and do that. Go ahead. Feel free. I'll give it to you. Did you guys forget Super Bowl 55? Did you forget that? Forget that performance by Patrick Mahomes and having the 2 interceptions, 31-9. The only touchdown the Kansas City Chiefs had was at Tampa International Airport, TIA. You guys forget that? That's amazing. Selective amnesia when it comes to national media sometimes when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You gotta love it. Final ranking here: New Orleans 10-7, Atlanta 9-8, Tampa 6-11, and Carolina 2-15. There you go. And of course, this is the same national media that says Todd Bowles is on the hot seat. Where is that soundbite at? What I want? Where is that at? Where is that soundbite? Is it this?
Book him, Dano.
Well, that's Leo. Let's see here. That's where is that soundbite? Oh, here it is.
F you, and F you. Peace out. I'm gonna go have a Guinness.
Yeah, there you go. And that's our good friend right there, JP Peterson of the JP Peterson Show, which, by the way, tune in every day in the morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon for all your local sports content, which, by the way, yours truly will be hosting along with Harry the Greek. National media. Gotta love it. I love it. I love when they predict the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 6-11. I love that. I love when the national media last year, what was it, Connor Orr, said that they were going to win 2 games. Jason Light keeps the receipt, confronts them, and then the guy says they're going to finish 3rd this year, and this is what I have to say.
F you, and F you. Peace out. I'm going to go have a Guinness.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, JP. Again, we'll be hosting on Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12. I mean, that's how I feel. And my assistant here, my sister, is going to bring me a drink. Come on. I was about to choke on my own spit. So thank you very much. I don't know why I got choked up there. I'm going to go ahead and take a drink here. Open phone line, 727. It's not a drink. You know, you guys are thinking it's alcohol or something. No, it's tea. So let me go ahead and rest my lungs here. My throat, I mean. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Thank you very much. Peter, Fulham or Man U? I don't know. I have no idea. Christopher Cole, I call BS with the national media. Again, this is what I have to say when anything comes out from the national media about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
F you, and F you. Peace out. I'm going to go have a Guinness.
Love it. I mean, if I could have that sound effect every day I'm on the phone talking to my potential customers, that would be great. I mean, lately I've been offending everybody. You know, I can't offend anybody on this show because guess why? It's my show. I mean, if you call it and you piss me off, I hang up on you. You know, like Roger Shue, the tribal troll tonight found out.
Acknowledge me.
You know? I mean, seriously. Like, I need that sound effect. Anytime the national media says something or my other job where somebody's trying to talk over me, I got to play it again. I love that sound effect.
F you,
yeah.
F you,
yeah.
F you,
yeah.
and F you. Peace out. I'm going to go have a Guinness.
There you go. I don't know about Guinness. I never drink. I think I've had a Guinness before. Probably should have maybe one of these days to celebrate. I agree with the media because Baker will be hurt. Game on. People, please hit the like button and subscribe to the best Tampa Bay content. Thank you, Game On. Appreciate it. Your check is in the mail, my friend. Let's go ahead and move on here with Yaya Diaby having some comments about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, saying people are asleep on the Bucs defense. They're sleeping on the Bucs defense. Why? Oh, well, because they got rid of Shaq Barrett. I get it. There's some question marks about this defense with Joe Tryon-Shoyinka not necessarily being the most consistent or the most effective. Yaya Diaby, 2nd year. Vita Vea losing weight. Kalijah Kancey, young player. Moving on from Devin White. Now you have KJ Britt. Moving on from Carlton Davis. That's what Yaya Diaby says, that people are sleeping on the Bucs defense. And of course, Diaby says just 7 games as a rookie, 7.5 sacks in 2023. He spent the offseason preparing himself for of becoming a more full-time player. That's the big-time question. He's becoming a full-time player now. That's the reason why you move on from Shaq Barrett in the first place. It is. And by the way, YouTube super chats are open if you love the content. Give to the content. We appreciate that. Got to work on getting more sponsors for the show. I love the talk here, but it would be nice to take a break here and there. So I got to work on potential sponsors and advertisements for this show going forward. He also has this to say: I'm super excited, man. For me, I've done changed my body up. I mean, that has been a constant thing that we've heard all this year. Guys changing up their body, getting bigger, getting stronger. We heard that on the offensive line with Cody Mock, getting bigger, getting stronger. Vita Vea, too big, loses weight. Guys trying to get in better shape because they know how important it is. That's what happens. When you're a rookie, you don't understand it. Like, you come into the league and everything's moving so fast. And then your second year, it starts to slow down. And with that comes, getting your body in the right shape. That's important because it's going to be a longer season than it was in college football. So you got to get ready. So Diaby says, I'm super excited, man. For me, I've done change my body up so I can be able to play more snaps and be in more. Important. Be in shape because that we've talked about it on this show ad nauseum. The 2 building blocks that Bucs fans should be excited about are Yaya Diaby and Kalijah Kancey. Why? Because they're so young. They have lots of potential. Of course, potential being the most overly used word. But it's relevant. It is. And you look at the tape last year, you look at the numbers, you look at, again, what these players can do if they stay healthy. The sky's the limit. He says, just for me, it's a growth. I'm seeing myself from OTAs these past couple of weeks, just being able to pick up on things. Last year, I was in my head a lot. See, there you go. It's moving too fast. Last year, it was in my head a lot. Being a rookie, not knowing a lot, being in Coach Todd Bowles' defense. There's a lot for a rookie to come in and take on. So going into year 2, I'm super confident, and just talking about it gets me more excited because how ready I am to go. He says people were caught snoozing on the Bucs defense last season. He thinks doubters are for the similar wake-up call in 2024, especially with all the talent on the defensive side of the ball. It's great, man, having guys like Kalijah Kancey with me. You got Logan Hall. We haven't talked about Logan Hall. Logan Hall's another player that needs to step up. He's a part of that rotation on that defensive line. Even Vita Vea, he's a vet, but you got to love Vita. And again, Diaby talked to Rhett Lewis at the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame ceremony this weekend. You got Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and all the young guys, and we just got Chris Braswell, which you don't know what he's going to do. But what do we hear? I believe from Todd Bowles, saying that he has same paraphrasing here, has the same type of characteristics as Diaby. That's a good thing. Because if he can do anything, be anything like Yaya Diaby or duplicate that success, you got yourself a win in there in the second round, Tampa Bay Bucs. You did. Says, just awesome, man. I just feel like a lot of people are asleep on Tampa's defense, but I feel like this year we're going to really wake a lot of people up. So there you go. I love those comments. I love that confidence. That's what I'm talking about. That's the reason why Bucs fans should be excited about 2024. Defensive players like Yaya Diaby and Kalijah Kancey. On the phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So we'll see how that all works out for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. Now, Todd Bowles talked to the media the day about Graham Barton and explained the transition that Barton has made from playing tackle in college to being the anchor of the offensive line at center. This is what Bowles had to say. it's a heavy load, especially after players tackle for 3 years. After then going against the defense, it does a lot of things. Tell you what, we'll get back to that in a moment. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Hey, Peter, Jeremy again, making that second call.
All right, man. What's on your mind?
So this time it's from the Bucks, because the last one I told you about the other two teams. So let's get back to the Bucks. And I'm ecstatic for the continuity and how better this team is going to be. I like your prediction. I definitely see 10-11 wins.
Okay.
You said 11. I said 10-11, but anyway.
Okay, so which is it? Is it 10 or is it 11? What are we waffling here on the sports web? Come on, put your name on it. Is it 10 or 11?
No, I'm feeling a little, encouragement here. Give me 11 wins.
Give me 11 wins. All right, 11 wins for Jeremy and 11 wins for Peter on the show. All right, we got it. Yes.
And you ready for this?
Yes.
Elijah Canty is going to lead the team in sacks.
Really? Over Yaya Diaby?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many sacks does Canty have? How many sacks does Diaby have?
Canty, give me 11.
Wow.
Yaya, give me 10.
Wow. Double-digit sacks for both players. I like the prediction. I like it a lot. Okay. All right.
Just remember, defense wins championships.
Very true.
And the continuity of this defense, and you gotta respect Yaya Diaby for his encouragement.
Did you just burp on the phone? That was funny. Good stuff. That was very, very good.
Oh, yeah.
Very good, my friend.
You're hyping me up here, man.
I know. I need to hype you up sometimes because you come in here and you're like, this is Jer. I need you to be hyped here on the sports web. Every time you get on the sports web, you make that second call, that first call. I need you to be hyped up. Don't be afraid to get hyped up. We say 3 things on this show. What are they, Jeremy? Say them because you know them, you love them, and you got to have them. Say it real quick.
No, I'm saying I love my team.
No. Say what we say here on the sports web and say it with conviction, my friend.
Bring the passion. Bring the don't bring no nonsense.
No. Start over again. You got to do this right. You got to get this right. As my boss would say, JP Peterson, you got to write this stuff down. So say it again with conviction, like you mean it. Say 3 things.
Bring the passion. The second one I forgot, Peter.
All right, I'm gonna do this for you really quick. You ready?
Real quick, go for it. I'm listening.
Bring your passion.
Bring your passion.
Bring your excitement.
Bring your excitement.
Just don't bring any nonsense. Now you say it with more conviction. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Bring the passion. Bring the excitement. Just don't bring no nonsense.
Yes.
On the show.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Let the truth set you free. Let's go! All right.
I'm telling you right now, Peter. As the season gets closer for the Bucks, trust me, you'll hear a lot more live from you. I promise you that.
All right. Sounds good, man. We got to definitely get you on the show because you do some things with your podcast. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the sports web a little bit.
Yes, sir. I co-host from the Bucketeers, my man Tampa Tones, my boy Mean Gene, and several other podcasters. We already had 2 Buck players on there already the last couple of weeks. Check it out. We had CJ Brewer on.
Wow.
And we also had, I believe, Latrell Jones. And by the way, he's a wing and pizza guy, by the way. Great guy.
Well, you can't go wrong with wings and pizza, my friend. So I already believe you that he's a great guy.
No, you can't. And like I said, 2 good players bound for position spots. Check it out, on Bucketeers. We'll be live on Friday at 9:45 a.m. for anybody that's interested. Check us out. Like I said, we love our Bucks and we love talking football.
Hey, man, and we love you on this show. You're definitely a big part of it. You've become one of my favorite web heads here, up there with Curtis and Alex and, of course, Eric and all the great callers that call here. So we appreciate you, man, and continue to watch and support, and we'll continue to get you on, and we'll get you on, get your podcast on. And I also want to give this message to Gene there. If you don't come on my show eventually, I'm going to put your ass through a table. There you go.
RKO, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, give me a little Dudley Boys action, 3D action right to the table. I love Gene Thomas. Done great stuff there with Buck, which you heard. We love him here on the Sports Web. A longtime friend. Definitely a main reason why I started doing this in the first place. And also, a guy that gave me a loan to get my first laptop so we could have the Sports Web. True story. Ask him about it, Jeremy. Thanks a lot for your time here, man.
Peter,
and yes.
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
I know you mentioned Gene Thomas, but I also want to throw it out there to my boy Tampa Tones.
Tampa Tones. Okay.
Who's the main leader in the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Giving a fan like me the opportunity to co-host, pick his brain. The man is just a great person. I had the privilege of hanging out with him many times. So I want to give a shout out to him as well.
Let's get those guys on sometime. Let's get your show on here on the Sports Web. All right.
Yeah, sounds good. Take care, Peter. Go Bucks.
All right, man. Yeah, go Bucks. Go Bucks as always, man. Go Bucks. Go Bucks.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Go Bucks. BUCCANEERS. Go Bucks. I promise you that's T. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Instagram here. Let's go out to Jay Hizzo. Says, can't waste cap on old guys. You're exactly right. Although he's 34 years old, again, he's getting up there in age. He is. Being Stamkos. I was surprised that Nashville gave him $8 million. But there was a market out there for it. And Nashville showed you that they're not playing around. I think they spent like $108 million today on 3 players. So they are definitely trying to make some moves. And that's what happens in free agency. And that's the business of it all. But I'm not ready to sit up here and say I'm not a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, because I am. By the way, I need some Tampa Bay Lightning swag. I need to get like a jersey or something up here, because it's all, you got Bucks and you got Rays. And you got more Bucks, and I need some Lightning here because I love the Lightning. And I definitely believe in JBB. And again, that's a part of the business. And let's see how it plays out. And if it doesn't play out, then we could sit here and be as critical as you want to be. And you could sit here and say, what should have been? You should have signed him. You made a mistake. Because we saw that at a lesser degree with Jason Light, right? Like Jason Light is ready to turn the page on players that don't necessarily work out. And he turned the page on Jordan Whitehead, right? And that didn't necessarily work out. As my dog in the background is just going crazy, tearing things up. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's trying to get my attention or something. I don't know what he's doing over here. He's tearing things up. He's tearing it up. But Jason Light decides to turn the page on Jordan Whitehead and then brings him back because he admits his mistake, that was not necessarily the right move. It happens in professional sports. It's not like Steven Stamkos may not end up in Tampa one of these days again. Would it have been nice for him to be this year and the upcoming years? Yes. But again, we heard from the general manager of why that move is not being made. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Okay, so I want to go back out to these comments from Todd Bowles, who says about Graham Barton and his transition from being a tackle in college to now an anchor of the offensive line at center. It's a heavy load, especially after playing tackle for 3 years and them going against a defense that does a lot of things. This will be a good baptism for him as far as getting ready for the season. I think he's learned a lot. I think he's eager to get in pads and really show what he can do physically. He is a smart guy. Also, Barton discussed this by saying, I wouldn't say it's the biggest surprise, but the depth and the detail at the NFL level of what you're doing and how you're doing it. Technique, fundamentals, tips and tricks, things like that, he said. How much more is to the game of football? I guess he didn't always understand in college. So learning that has been the biggest leap going through that. And the expectation is for him to come in and anchor that line and hopefully be the same type of player with the physicality and the attitude of a Ryan Jensen at the center position. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. According to our good friend of the show, Mr. Liam Mitchell of Bucks Vault, 69 days until Bucks season starts. I'm just saying, are you ready for that? And by the way, he throws out this statistic. He says, and I don't know if you guys remember this as Bucks fans out there. You guys, some of you are old school, some of you in your school. So maybe I'm going to educate you here and entertain you at the same time. Hopefully I do that here on the Sports Web on a Monday and Wednesday night. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers boasted one of the most dominant defenses in NFL history during the late 1990s and into the early 2000s, in an era that culminated with the team's first Super Bowl victory following the 2002 season. Yes, 69 days. Yes, I said it, 2 giant goop balls. Along the way, the Tampa Bay defense set an impressive mark by posting at least 1 sack in 69 straight games from 1999 through 2003, which was an NFL record at the time. So 69 days until the season starts. And again, 69 straight games that Bucs defense from 99 to 2003 posted a sack, an NFL record. What a great defense that was. So there you go. All right. Let's see. Yaya Diaby also had to say this about Shaq Barrett with, talking about what his impact was. It said guided him with class and compassion. For Shaq, it was like, oh, they're bringing in the young guy to try to replace me, but he didn't look at it that way. He was like, okay, he's a young guy. He really wants to be here. He's hungry, so I'm going to show him the way. And he really helped me out a lot, tried to ease my mind because, being a rookie and being in Coach Todd Bowles' defense, it's hard. It really eased my mind, just helped me out throughout the process. That's the greatness of what Shaq Barrett was for this defense, and now he's moved on to the Miami Dolphins. See how that works? That's the sports landscape sometimes. Our heroes, our guys that we watch on television on a weekly basis, that we talk about on these shows during the off season and the supposed dog days of summer where there's nothing to talk about, but there's always something to talk about here on the evolution of sports talk television. It happens. It's a part of the sports landscape. It's a part of being a sports fan. We love them when they're here, and we're sad when they're gone. And Steven Stamkos has moved on to the Nashville Predators. With that being said, thanks a lot to all the guests from the night. Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the Sports Web. Mr. J.P. Peterson of the J.P. Peterson Show, which can be seen and heard on Facebook and YouTube and other platforms every day from 10 to 12 noon. We'll be hosting it, yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, on Wednesday morning. So definitely call in, talk more about the Stamkos fallout. What would the Lightning do? What is the recent Bucs news, Rays news? And of course, happy birthday to Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. As always, man, we appreciate your contribution here on the Sports Web. You are my brother in arms. We started off together on the sidewalks of Fergs, and we just continue to build the evolution of sports talk television. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook. Facebook stars are out there. If you love the content, YouTube super chats are on YouTube. Give to the content also if you love it. And we got 3 things to end the night here. Once again, it's a sad day in Tampa Bay history when it comes to Steven Stamkos. And of course, he is history. 16 years. Thanks a lot to the captain. 3 things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. So here it is. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. Guys, we'll see you next time on the evolution of sports talk television, Wednesday night at 9 o'clock with the legend, Leo Haggerty. Have a good night.
sure. When I didn't get approached to sign an extension last summer, that caught me by surprise, and it was something that I expressed at training camp, and certainly that was probably the start of it, the start of the writing on the wall. I didn't quite understand why, but I didn't ask too many questions, just went about and played hard and didn't let that affect me. And after the season, I knew both sides were going to want to try to get something done and do something that was mutually beneficial for both sides. It just felt like, I was the one that was making a lot of the concessions, and that certainly came into play. But again, when you get into these things, like I said, you have hope until the last minute, and then when you don't hear anything or nothing changes, then you have to be able to adapt and just make a decision. That's the toughest part, is trying to hang on to something that maybe it isn't trying to hang on to you. And that was the tough part for sure. But like I said, the memories I've had in Tampa will trump whatever, ill will or feelings I've had throughout this process, because those